we are going to determine the nature of the roots of quadratic equation. Today, everyone, let's have a recall on the nature of the roots. How are you going to determine the nature of the roots of quadratic equation? So we have there nature of the roots of the quadratic equation. X squared plus bx plus c equals 0 can be determined using the discriminant. So in the quadratic formula, that b squared minus 4ac is the radicand is called the discriminant, or in symbol it's letter D. So the discriminant will identify whether the roots are real, rational, irrational, equal or unequal, and real or imaginary. So from there, from the value of the discriminant, you can identify whether the roots are real, rational or irrational, equal or unequal, real or imaginary. So these are the four. If that is 0, therefore roots are real, rational, and equal. If it is greater than 0 and perfect square, then the roots are rational and unequal numbers. If it is greater than 0 but not perfect square, then the roots are real, unequal, and irrational. While if the discriminant is less than 0, therefore the roots are imaginary numbers. Okay, let's have an illustrative example. How to determine the nature of the roots. Okay, our given equation is x squared minus 3x plus 5. Let's try this one. Okay. For us to determine the nature of the roots, we need to solve first for the discriminant. So before that, we need to find first the values of a, b, and c. So the value of a is understood 1. The value of b is negative 3, while the value of c is positive 5. So do not forget the signs because they are really very important. Our discriminant formula we have here, b equals b squared minus 4ac. Your b is negative 3, so we have negative 3 squared minus 4. Your a is 1 times 1. Your c is 5 times 5. So we have here negative 3 times negative 3 will give you positive 9 minus 4 times 1 times 5 is 20. So therefore, your discriminant is negative 11. That is the value of the discriminant. As you can see here, the value of the discriminant is negative. So therefore, you can say that the discriminant is less than 0. If the discriminant is less than 0, therefore, you can say roots are imaginary numbers. So, yun ang nature of the root. So, ang nature of the roots now, based from the discriminant, since yung discriminant nyo is less than 0, roots are imaginary numbers. Yun. Illustrative example, for example, we will have 2x squared plus 5x minus 1. Let's try this one. Okay, find first the values of a, b, and c. So your a is positive 2, your b is 5, and your c is negative 1. So we're solving for the discriminant and finding the nature of the roots. So next, our formula is d equals b squared minus 4ac. Your b is 5. 5 squared minus 4. Your a is 2. Your c is negative 1. 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 2, 8. Times 1 is 8. So, negative times negative is positive 8. So, therefore, your discriminant is 33. Base from here, 33 is positive. So, therefore, you can say discriminant is greater than 0, but not perfect square. Because 33 is not perfect square. Okay, so since your discriminant is greater than 0 and not perfect square, you can say nature of the roots. So the nature of the roots now, you can say that roots are real, unequal, and irrational. Ayun. So, base yun sa discriminant. So, nature of the root, you cannot determine, the nature of the root unless you have the discriminant, the value of the discriminant.